So this was a grind a little bit, and it's the first time that I've done this, not ever, but the first time in a long time. And I have not done this since like D2 vanilla. And that is go flawless in trials. I haven't been flawless in trials since it was Trials of the 9 in D2 vanilla. And I know all the super hardcore sweaty PvP people watching this are probably already about to click off the video and be like, this guy's a noob. Why am I watching this? This is stupid. But there's a reason. There's a good reason why I haven't been flawless in this long. And there's a reason why I went flawless now. Well, not why I went flawless, but why I was grinding to go flawless. And so it's kind of a two birds, one stone video, because I wanted to talk about the fact that this is my first time going flawless in Trials of Osiris in D2. We're going to talk about that in a quick second and explain why that is. So we're also talking about kind of generally the state of Crucible, but also a very good weapon that you need to get. Now, unfortunately, by the time you guys see this video, it's probably going to be reset because I pulled this off on Monday morning at the time of recording this. But you can still do it next weekend. So let's go ahead and talk about this because there's a couple different things I want to tackle in this whole Trials of Osiris umbrella as you guys watch game 7? Yeah, the final game of my flawless run. First off, really quick, I got to say that I went like last night and then, or last night time recording this, and this morning, Sunday night and Monday morning, and I kept going and going and going. I had a curse of like 4 and 5 games. So at 4 games, I would end up using up my mercy. And then on the fifth game, so I would use up my mercy and then I would get a 4th win, and then I'd go to game 5, and on game 5 every single time without a fail I'd always get teamed up with people that feel like they've never played Crucible in their life, and it'd all go down the water, and then again and again and again. I also tried with a friend, but when you play with friends, then it teams you up against other people that are teaming up together as well. It gets a little bit more sweaty in that realm, so I feel like solo queue is a little bit better, and honestly it was a lot of fun. It was probably since like the start of D2, really, this is probably the most fun I've had in Trials, even though it was a little bit sweaty and annoying. I feel like it's a little bit in a better place the way the matchmaking is right now, at least for solo queues. You know what I mean? Not as crazy sweaty. So in that sense, I feel like it's in the best place, but it's still not as good as it was in D1. And here's the quick little thing I was gonna say. D1, I was flawless like every weekend that I actually played. Almost every weekend I was going to the lighthouse every single time almost. I loved it. I grinded for Trials of Osiris flawlesses. It was a little bit more tricky, I think, if I remember right. You did have a mercy back then, right? Yeah, you did. But and there was a little bit a different meta, right? You had self-res on the warlocks, and that added fun though. You know what I mean? That added a level of fun. I feel like now the state of Crucible is just way too competitive and it's just too sweaty the way they've built it. D1, I don't know what, just something with the meta that they had going on there. It just felt more relaxed and more fun. Sometimes it's the fun stuff, the broken stuff, the crazy stuff that just makes it fun, right? You think back to D1, how, rocket launchers were so crazy, especially the G-Horn. They were just so OP and so crazy, especially in Crucible. Things were allowed to be broken, right? And they've kind of loosened up those reins a little bit, but not as much, and it's still disappointing. Same thing, you look at like, games like COD, not to go off on a rabbit trail, but COD, a lot of people, there's a reason why we call the, MW2 back in the day, like what was it, 2007, 2008, whatever, the glory days. Okay, it's not just nostalgia, it's because things were just crazy. Things were broken, it was chaotic, it was fun, noob tubes and grenades all the time, and explosions, and grenades actually had a crazy blast radius. People were getting nukes every other game, which made it cool. Now I barely see nukes in COD, and it's the same thing with Destiny, right? In my opinion, right? D1 is a lot more fun because it felt a lot more casual. You don't need to be super competitive. I know it's Trials of Osiris, the name of the game is competitive. It's not like Destiny's and esports anyway, so what does it matter? Stop trying to be sweaty and competitive. I'm not saying as a player, I'm saying like as the meta, as the format. So anyways, that's why I haven't been flawless since Trials of the 9. I tried in Trials of the 9. I'm like, I don't really like this format. And then I would just play Trials of Osiris casually once in a while to get like pinnacles and things like that. But I never really tried to go flawless. I was playing super laid back. And so that's why I never been flawless in Destiny 2 Trials of Osiris. Trials of the 9 it was, Trials of Osiris and D1 it was, just never tried, never cared to try in Trials of Osiris D2 because I just thought it was stupid. Now, all that to it just didn't feel as good, is what I mean. All that to say, the reason I went for it now is because there's this crazy SMG that you may have heard everybody's using. It's brand new. It's Strand. It's called the Immortal. It's super good. So I was lucky enough to get a pretty decent roll before I got to the Lighthouse, by the way. Getting to the Lighthouse is so I can get the Adept version, which, by the way, apparently the whole format's changed to get additional Adept versions, which I'm going to talk about in just a second here. So the way it works, first of all, with this whole SMG is, I mean, there's these ideal rolls. It really depends, right? I guess some people are saying, like, if you got a full bore with ricochet rounds, I think ricochet rounds would actually be pretty good with like rangefinder or encore, and then with target lock or kill clip. And if ideally, excuse me, if your masterwork could be a range masterwork, that'd be ideal to add a little bit more range. Although the range is pretty good, but I mean, I think this thing would just shred, you know, otherwise. It has, the stability's low, but it feels pretty good. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of, you know, kick. I mean, it kicks, but like it's still easily controllable for the most part. Anyways, the one that I ended up getting is very interesting. So the one I got, like I said, is Perpetual Motion, which is pretty decent. The weapon gains bonus stability, handling, and reload speed while the wielder is in motion, and target lock, which damage increases the longer this weapon remains on a target. Not ideal, but decent. I got an extended barrel for a little bit more range as well, slightly, and that's that. My Adept, not the greatest, but I do have ricochet rounds on it. My barrel is just like hammer forged or chambered compensator, so I don't know, it's not the craziest roll. And then I do have Perpetual on this one as well, which I think Perpetual is a pretty decent, you know, perk. But then I got Focused Fury, which is like dealing half of the magazine as precision damage, grants weapon bonus damage. Like, dude, I'm probably not going to deal half of my magazine in precision, especially in Crucible when everything you're strafing all the time. I'm probably not. I'm not that accurate. Let's just be honest with ourselves. And then I get Hatchling, which precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with a non-precision weapon spawns a threadling at the target's location. It sounds decent, but again, it's not ideal. So again, we got some interesting stuff here. And then we do have my masterwork on this one is stability, as well as my non-adept one. And then I of course have, you know, gain increased reload stability, aim assist. No, I got alacrity. I got one quiet moment or field tested for the perk, for the origin trait. See, that's for everything, adept or not. Now, really good SMG, right? But getting a good adept one is a little bit easier now. So now, instead of having to go flawless every single time to get adept, all you got to do is get another 7 win streak on your card, apparently. At least that's what I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you are able to get an adept drop from that. Apparently. So again, you don't have to necessarily flawless every single time, so you can grind a little bit more easily for the adept drops, which I think is a good quality of life improvement personally. You know, I think that's a good change. So anyways, this gun, it really kicks, man. It slaps. It's really good. I love it. It's a really good SMG. I hope they don't nerf the heck out of it. They always do this, man. We don't get to have much fun sometimes, but I think hopefully they'll leave it for a while. So you'll probably still have time. It's not like it's super OP, like over the top, but it's really good if you know how to use it. It's one of those kind of guns, right? So I don't think they're going to nerf it, but they might. I don't know. So go ahead, grind trials. I know solo might seem daunting. Solo's probably your best bet. I mean, you could try teamed up, but it might be a little, from my experience, it's a lot sweatier teamed up, a lot sweatier. Like me and my friend who were trying to go, you know, into trials together, we went our separate ways. He went flawless, and then eventually I went flawless too. So I don't know, take that as you will. So anyways, I want to talk about this because really quick, first of all, just because I was excited to go, you know, flawless for the first time in forever. You know, again, I hadn't been really trying to go flawless. I barely played trials. When I did, it was super casual. I don't want to let you guys know about this insane weapon because it is really, really freaking cool, and it's really good. So try to get it if you can. Try to get a good roll because again, for Crucible, for PvP, man, this thing's good. And for Iron Banner, we're coming up on Iron Banner. I don't know when. I'm not sure. I forget, but soon enough, we're going to be coming up on Iron Banner. It'll be nice to have a good roll of this thing to grind with. So go get it yourselves. Let me know if you already have one and what you think about it down in the comment section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around for more, and I'll see you guys soon. Another one. Until then, game on. Catch you guys later.